I'm very proud of the fact that since President Trump has been in office, we have removed over 600 known and suspected terrorists out of the United States of America, that we have brought thousands of gang members from MS-13, TDA, and brought them to justice and deported them out of our country.
Now to a federal investigation stretching from Tennessee to Texas. The U.S. Attorney's Office has indicted 8 Venezuelan nationals with ties to the violent gang Tren de Aragua. They're accused, that is, of running a sex trafficking ring. 3 of those men arrested in Houston.
23rd and March 2nd, ICE agents arrested 646 undocumented immigrants, with 543 of them who are either charged or convicted of criminal offenses while here in the U.S. 7 documented gang members were also arrested, and more than 140 arrested were charged with things like homicide, aggravated assault, and domestic violence. Other offenses range from sex offenses to drug trafficking. ICE emphasized the importance of this, saying it's getting some of the world's most dangerous fugitives, gang members, and criminal aliens that are getting into the country off the streets.
356 gang members, 400 illegal border crossings, 700 criminal convictions, all arrested in just 6 months in Houston alone. This wasn't a single raid. This wasn't a targeted operation against one gang. This was the largest coordinated takedown of criminal organizations in Houston's history, and it just shattered every record for immigration enforcement in America. MS-13, Tren de Aragua, Paisas Gang, and 37 other criminal organizations thought they could establish their operations in America's 4th largest city. They thought wrong. Stay until the end, because I'm going to break down exactly how ICE dismantled 40 different gang networks in one mega operation, reveal the shocking criminal histories of these 356 arrests, and show you why this operation proves that America's most dangerous cities are no longer sanctuaries for transnational criminals. On August 8, 2025, ICE Houston announced the results of what can only be described as the most successful gang enforcement operation in the agency's history. Over a 6-month period, ICE enforcement and removal operations (ERO) teams conducted a systematic, intelligence-driven campaign targeting confirmed gang members operating throughout the Houston metropolitan area. This wasn't random enforcement. This was a meticulously planned operation targeting specific individuals with known gang affiliations, criminal histories, and immigration violations. The scale of what they uncovered was unprecedented. Over 40 different criminal organizations had established operations in Houston. These weren't small street gangs. These were sophisticated transnational criminal enterprises with hierarchies, territories, and specialized criminal operations. The 3 largest contingents came from groups already known for extreme violence. 159 members of the Paisas Gang, a prison-based organization known for brutal enforcement, 39 confirmed MS-13 members, the notoriously violent Central American gang, 25 members of Tren de Aragua, the Venezuelan mega-gang that has been spreading across the U.S. The remaining arrests spanned members of 37 additional gangs, representing criminal networks from across Latin America with connections to cartels, prison organizations, and street gangs. But the gang affiliations were just the beginning. The collective criminal history of these 356 individuals revealed a pattern of persistent, serious criminal activity. Before I show you the full breakdown of this operation, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss these critical reports on America's security operations. The 356 gang members arrested in Houston weren't just immigration violators. Together, they had amassed 1,185 criminal convictions spanning virtually every major category of crime: homicide, sexual assault, child abuse and exploitation, aggravated assault, armed robbery, weapons trafficking, drug distribution, human trafficking, extortion, arson. What makes this even more shocking is the pattern of border crossings. These 356 individuals had collectively entered the United States illegally 434 times, an average of 4 illegal entries per person. One individual had crossed illegally 40 separate times and continued to return despite deportations. This wasn't just about immigration enforcement. This was about protecting Houston communities from hardened criminals who had established operational bases throughout the city. The ICE Houston operation wasn't a single massive raid. It was a sustained, intelligence-driven campaign that required coordination across multiple federal, state, and local agencies. ERO Houston Field Office Director Gabriel Martinez led the operation with a clear mission: target the worst offenders first and dismantle their networks from the top down. The operational approach was strategic and methodical. First, intelligence teams compiled target packages on suspected gang members using databases, informants, surveillance, and coordination with international partners. This included analyzing prison records, local police reports, and intelligence from homeland countries. Next, specialized teams tracked patterns of movement, identified safe houses, and mapped the organizational structure of each gang operating in Houston. They discovered that many of these gangs had established specific territories within Houston's sprawling metropolitan area. The Paisas gang, with 159 members arrested, had established the strongest presence. They operated primarily in Houston's northwest and east sides, focusing on drug distribution and extortion of legitimate businesses within immigrant communities. MS-13's 39 members were concentrated in southwest Houston, operating in neighborhoods with large Central American populations. Their operations included extortion, human trafficking, and targeted violence against rival gangs. The 25 Tren de Aragua members represented a newer but rapidly growing threat. This Venezuelan gang had established operations in the Gulfton area and parts of North Houston, bringing their signature mix of extortion, kidnapping, and control of human smuggling routes. What made this operation particularly effective was its sustained nature. Rather than conducting a single high-profile raid, ICE teams executed dozens of smaller targeted operations over 6 months, systematically dismantling each gang's leadership structure, safe houses, and revenue streams. The evidence recovered during these operations revealed the sophisticated nature of these criminal enterprises: weapons caches, including military-grade firearms, financial records documenting extortion schemes, communications equipment linking Houston operations to international leadership, false identification document production facilities, drug processing and distribution networks, human trafficking operations. By the 6-month mark, the operation had successfully arrested 356 confirmed gang members, more than triple the number arrested in the entire year of 2021 under different enforcement priorities. This mega operation exposed something even more disturbing than the number of arrests. It revealed an emerging pattern of sophisticated criminal organizations using Houston as a strategic base of operations. Houston's unique characteristics made it an ideal target for these criminal networks. Its position as the 4th largest city in America provided anonymity. Its proximity to the border facilitated movement of people and contraband. Its diverse immigrant communities could be exploited for extortion and recruitment. Its sprawling geography made coordination between law enforcement agencies more challenging. Intelligence gathered during the operation revealed that these gangs weren't operating in isolation. They had established complex relationships with each other and with larger cartels. MS-13 maintained direct connections to El Salvador leadership. Paisas coordinated with prison-based networks across Texas. Tren de Aragua operated with direct oversight from Venezuelan leadership. The most disturbing discovery was the evolution of their criminal enterprises. These weren't just street gangs anymore. They were sophisticated criminal organizations. The Paisas gang had moved beyond street-level drug dealing to establish wholesale distribution networks, money laundering operations through legitimate businesses, and systematic extortion of immigrant-owned companies. MS-13 had expanded its traditional violence-based operations to include human trafficking, prostitution rings, and targeted intimidation of witnesses in ongoing cases. Tren de Aragua, the newest arrival among the major gangs, had quickly established itself as a major player in migrant smuggling, kidnapping for ransom, and extortion, particularly targeting fellow Venezuelan immigrants. The interconnection between these groups created a criminal ecosystem that could quickly adapt to enforcement actions. When one gang member was arrested, others would step in to maintain operations. When one safe house was compromised, others were already established. Digital evidence recovered during the operation revealed communications with gang leadership structures across Latin America. These weren't isolated criminals. They were operational cells of sophisticated transnational criminal organizations. The community impact of these criminal networks was devastating. Houston neighborhoods with gang presence experienced increased violent crime rates, systematic exploitation of immigrant communities, intimidation of witnesses and victims, recruitment of vulnerable youth, competition for territory leading to violent confrontations. What made this operation truly groundbreaking wasn't just the number of arrests, it was the systematic disruption of established criminal networks before they could further entrench themselves in Houston's communities. ERO Houston Field Office Director Gabriel Martinez didn't mince words about the operation's significance. Despite attempts by some to undermine the courageous work being done by our officers, the brave men and women of ICE continue to put their lives on the line every day to arrest violent transnational gang members, foreign fugitives, and dangerous criminal aliens. He further connected the operation to real community safety. In just the past couple of years in Houston, transnational gang members were responsible for brutally raping and murdering an innocent 12-year-old girl on her way to the store. Our officers know their efforts can help prevent atrocities like that from ever occurring again, and they won't rest until they're all gone. The 356 arrested gang members now face a combination of criminal prosecution for outstanding warrants and removal proceedings. Many will be returned to their countries of origin after serving sentences for crimes committed in the United States. But the broader implications go far beyond these individual cases. This operation represents a fundamental shift in immigration enforcement strategy, prioritizing public safety threats and dismantling criminal networks rather than random enforcement actions. The statistical comparison is stark. In the first 6 months of the previous administration, Houston ICE arrested 75 gang members. Under new leadership and priorities, that number jumped to 356, a 375% increase. The message to transnational gangs is unambiguous. There are no safe havens in American cities. No gang network is beyond the reach of coordinated law enforcement. No criminal enterprise will be allowed to establish itself in American communities. For Houston residents, particularly those in immigrant communities most vulnerable to gang exploitation, this operation means neighborhoods that are measurably safer, businesses free from extortion, children protected from recruitment and violence. But the work isn't done. These transnational gangs have demonstrated remarkable adaptability. Their structure allows them to regroup, recruit new members, and re-establish operations when enforcement pressure subsides. The 356 gang members arrested represent leadership and operational cells that can potentially be replaced. That's why ICE Houston has emphasized that this 6-month operation is not the end, but the beginning of sustained enforcement against criminal organizations. Intelligence from this operation is already being shared with other ICE field offices across the country, as many of these same gangs have established similar operations in other major cities. The operation also demonstrated the critical importance of international cooperation. Information sharing with law enforcement agencies in Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Venezuela played a key role in identifying gang members and understanding their organizational structures. What this mega operation ultimately proves is that when immigration enforcement prioritizes public safety threats, the results are measurable and significant. By targeting confirmed gang members with extensive criminal histories, ICE Houston not only removed dangerous individuals from communities, but dismantled the infrastructure that enables transnational criminal organizations to operate on American soil. For the residents of Houston, this operation means their city is safer today than it was 6 months ago. For the 40-plus criminal organizations that thought they could establish operations with impunity, it means a devastating blow to their networks, leadership, and operational capacity. This is what happens when America's immigration enforcement authorities are empowered to target the worst threats first. Decisive action that makes communities safer, dismantles criminal networks, and sends a clear message that transnational gangs will find no safe haven on American soil. For MS-13, Paisas, Tren de Aragua, and every other criminal organization attempting to establish footholds in American cities, the message couldn't be clearer. Federal authorities aren't just watching, they're acting, and no city, no matter how large, will be surrendered to criminal control. This is ICE Operations, bringing you the latest on America's fight against transnational gangs and criminal threats. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss these critical updates on the operations keeping American communities safe.